For most of your life, you were told one simple sentence, a sentence so powerful, so repeated, so normalized that you probably never questioned it. It goes like this: if you work hard, you'll be successful. Work hard in school, work hard at your job, work hard at your career, work hard at everything. And one day, you'll be comfortable, you'll be secure, you'll be free. That's the promise, that's the deal. That's what they sold you. And you believed it. Because why wouldn't you? Your parents believed it. Your teachers believed it. Your bosses believed it. Every movie, every commercial, every motivational poster repeated it. Work harder. Wake up earlier. Stay later. Sacrifice more. Success is coming. So you did exactly what they said. You studied, you showed up, you followed the rules, you worked overtime, you skipped vacations, you answered emails at night, you took calls on weekends, you gave them your energy, your youth, your best years, and you told yourself, it'll be worth it. But then something strange happened. Years passed, and instead of feeling ahead, you felt stuck. Instead of feeling secure, you felt anxious. Instead of building freedom, you were building stress. Bills kept growing, rent kept rising. Groceries kept getting expensive. Insurance kept going up. Everything cost more. Except your paycheck. Maybe you got a raise, 2%, 3%, but prices went up 10. Maybe you got promoted. More responsibility, more pressure, more hours, almost no extra money. Maybe you switched jobs. Same story, different company, same trap. And slowly, a dangerous thought started forming. A thought nobody talks about. A thought people feel guilty for having. It sounds like this: am I doing something wrong? Why am I still struggling? Why does it feel like I'm running, but not moving? You start blaming yourself. Maybe I'm not disciplined enough. Maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe I'm not talented enough. Maybe I'm lazy. So you push harder. More hours, more stress, less sleep, less life. You double down, because that's what they taught you. But deep down, you know the truth. You're tired. Not had a long day tired, not need a weekend tired. Your system tired, soul tired, burned out tired, emotionally drained tired, the kind of tired that sleep doesn't fix. You wake up already exhausted. You scroll your phone before work and see people traveling, people buying houses, people living freely. And you think, how are they doing this? I'm working just as hard, maybe harder. So why am I falling behind? And here's the part nobody warns you about. When hard work stops working, people don't question the system. They question themselves. They think they failed. They think they're broken. They think something is wrong with them. But what if nothing is wrong with you? What if you didn't fail? What if the rules changed? What if the game was redesigned while you were busy playing it honestly? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Millions of people today are working harder than any generation before them and getting less in return, more hours, more productivity, more output, less security, less stability, less ownership. This isn't an accident. This isn't bad luck. This isn't you being unlucky. This is a system that quietly shifted while everyone kept repeating the old advice. They kept telling you, work harder. While they rewrote the rules, they kept telling you, stay patient. While they moved the finish line, they kept telling you, trust the process. While the process stopped serving you. And in this video, we're going to expose exactly how that happened. When hard work stopped working, who benefited, and why nobody warned you. Because once you see it, you'll never look at your job, your money, or your future the same way again. To understand why hard work feels useless today, you have to go back, not 10 years, not 20. Go back about 60 to 80 years to a completely different America, a different economy, a different promise. After World War II, something rare happened. The United States became the center of the world. Factories, manufacturing, exports, infrastructure, everything flowed through America. The country was producing, building, expanding, and for a while, regular people benefited. Back then, if you worked a normal job, you could actually build a life. One income, one factory job, one office job, one trade. And that was enough. Enough for a house, a car, a family, vacations, savings, retirement. No side hustles, no crypto, no investing apps, no 3 jobs, just work. And life followed. A high school graduate could walk into a plant and walk out 30 years later with a pension, with healthcare, with dignity, with security. Your parents, your grandparents, they lived in the system. So when they tell you, just work hard, they're not lying. They're speaking from experience. It actually worked for them. In 1970, the average worker's productivity and wages rose together. When companies made more money, workers made more money. They were connected, linked. If the economy grew, so did you. But then something changed, quietly, slowly, almost invisibly. In the late 1970s, the link broke. Productivity kept rising. Workers kept producing more, but wages flattened, stalled, stopped growing. From that point forward, companies kept getting richer. Executives kept getting richer. Shareholders kept getting richer. But workers didn't. You were doing more for less, year after year, decade after decade. And nobody made a big announcement. Nobody said, by the way, the deal is over. They just let you keep believing it. At the same time, another shift happened. Manufacturing moved overseas. Factories closed. Unions weakened. Job security disappeared. Pensions vanished. Work became temporary, replaceable, disposable. If you complained, someone else would take your place. Meanwhile, Wall Street grew. Finance grew. Speculation grew. Money started making more money than work ever could. You didn't need to build things anymore. You needed to own things. Stocks, assets, real estate, debt. But nobody taught you that. They taught you to be responsible. Get a job. Pay bills. Don't take risks. Stay in your lane. So while you were learning to be obedient, others were learning to be owners. And slowly, the economy stopped rewarding labor and started rewarding capital, not effort, ownership. If you owned assets, you won. If you sold time, you lost. That's the real shift. That's the hidden transition. From work hard and rise to own things or fall behind. But nobody updated the advice. Schools didn't change. Parents didn't change. Culture didn't change. They kept giving you instructions for a world that no longer existed. It's like being trained to ride a horse in a world that now uses cars. You're doing your best, but you're using the wrong vehicle. And this is why so many people feel confused. They're following the rules of a game that ended decades ago. In the next part, we'll expose how debt replaced opportunity and trapped millions in permanent survival mode. That's where things really collapsed. When wages stopped growing, something had to replace them, because people still needed to live, still needed houses, still needed cars, still needed education, still needed healthcare, still needed dignity, but now they could not afford it. So the system offered a new solution, not higher pay, not better jobs, not security, debt. At first, it looked harmless, helpful even. Do not worry. Put it on a card. Pay it later. Build credit. Invest in yourself. College loans, credit cards, car loans, mortgages, personal loans. Everything became financed instead of work and earn. It became borrow and survive. In the old system, you save first, then you bought. In the new system, you buy first, then you spend decades paying. And this changed everything. Because when you owe money, you're not free. You cannot quit easily. You cannot take risks. You cannot walk away. You cannot slow down. You become dependent on your job, on your paycheck, on your employer, on the system. Debt turns workers into hostages, quietly, legally, permanently. Think about it. If you owe $40,000 in student loans, $20,000 in credit cards, $400,000 on a mortgage, $30,000 on a car, can you just walk away from a bad job? No. You are trapped. So you tolerate things. Bad managers, low pay, no raises, overwork, stress. Because missing one paycheck could collapse everything. That is not freedom. That is financial surveillance. Now here's the darker part. Debt does not just trap individuals. It controls entire generations. Millennials, Gen Z, they entered adulthood already in debt before they even earned real money. Student loans alone are over $1.7 trillion. That is not education. That is generational leverage. You start life behind, running uphill, with weights on your back. Meanwhile, asset owners borrow too, but their debt is different. They borrow to buy things that pay them back. Businesses, property, stocks. Their debt works for them. Yours works against you. Same word. Very different outcome. So while you're paying interest, they are collecting it. Every month, every year, for decades. That is the machine. Money flows upward, through debt. And the craziest part? You were told this was normal, that this was adult life, that struggle was just how it is. No, it is engineered. Banks, lenders, and financial institutions make more money when you stay broke. They do not want you debt-free. They want you compliant, predictable, paying forever. They do not sell freedom. They sell subscriptions to survival. And once you are deep enough, you stop thinking long-term. You stop planning. You stop dreaming. You just manage emergencies. Next bill, next payment, next problem. Repeat. That is survival mode. And people in survival mode do not challenge systems. They just endure them, which is exactly the point. But here is what most people never see. Debt is not just financial, it is psychological. It creates fear. Fear of losing everything, fear of starting over, fear of change, fear of risk. So you stay small, safe, contained, and the system runs smoothly. For a long time, there was one rule everyone believed. One rule that made sacrifice feel worth it. One rule that kept people disciplined. It was simple. Save your money, work hard, spend less, put money aside, be responsible, and one day you will be safe. Savings were supposed to be your shield, your protection, your backup plan, your freedom fund. So people listened, they skipped pleasures, they delayed dreams, they sacrificed today for tomorrow. But then, quietly, that shield started to crack. Inflation, the most invisible tax in history. No one sends you a bill for it. No one announces it loudly. No one votes on it. It just happens. Every year, your money buys less. Your savings shrink. Your future costs more. $1 becomes 80 cents, then 70, then 50, then less. Over time, it is devastating. Think about it. If inflation is just 3%, your money loses half its value in about 20 years. Half. Gone. Now add reality. Housing goes up faster. Healthcare goes up faster. Education goes up faster. Food goes up faster. Energy goes up faster. But wages? Slow. Painfully slow. So even if you saved, even if you were careful, even if you were disciplined, you still lost. Because the rules changed again. And here's the cruel part. Banks paid you almost nothing. 1%, 0.5%, 0, sometimes less. So while inflation stole 5%, banks gave you 1, you lost 4 every year. And they called it safe. Meanwhile, governments printed money, trillions, to fix crises, to bail out corporations, to support markets, to prevent collapse. And every new dollar made your old dollars weaker. You paid for it, not with taxes, with purchasing power. That is the trick. They did not take your money, they diluted it. Imagine you own 10% of a pizza. Then they make 10 more slices without giving you any. Now you own 5%. Same plate, same pizza, less share. That is inflation, and most people never notice. They just feel poorer, more stressed, more desperate, more insecure. They think, why does everything feel harder? Why do I need more money just to survive? Why does saving feel pointless? This is why. Now think about retirement, another broken promise. They told you, save, invest, wait, retire peacefully. But with inflation, with low returns, with unstable markets, with rising costs, that dream is fading, and many people will never retire. They will just slow down, then work again, then slow down, then work again, until they cannot. That is not freedom, that is delayed poverty. And the worst part? You were never warned. No one told you, hey, saving alone will not protect you anymore. Hey, cash is losing value fast. Hey, the safety net is gone. They let you find out the hard way. Because if people realized early, they would demand change. They would seek alternatives. They would resist. So confusion was safer. And now, here you are, working hard, carrying debt, saving what you can, still feeling insecure. Not because you failed, because the system removed your protection. Now you can see the full picture. Not fragments, not headlines, not slogans. The whole system. Hard work stopped working. Debt replaced opportunity. Inflation destroyed savings. Ownership became everything. That is the reality. So the question is no longer, how do I work harder? It is, how do I stop playing a losing game? Because effort inside a broken structure will never bring freedom. It only brings exhaustion. Most people never reach this realization. They stay stuck in step 1, trying harder, blaming themselves, feeling guilty, feeling behind. You're past that now. You understand something most people never will. So what actually works today? Let us be clear. There is no magic trick, no shortcut, no secret button. But there is a pattern followed by people who escape. First, build leverage. Leverage means results without proportional effort. Skills that scale, content, software, businesses, systems, platforms, anything that works while you sleep, anything that multiplies time. Second, own productive assets, not just things, not status, not liabilities, assets that generate cash flow, assets that grow, assets that protect against inflation. Third, control distribution. Who owns attention? Who owns audiences? Who owns platforms? Who controls reach? Who controls narrative? Power follows attention. Always. Fourth, reduce dependency. One job is fragile. One income is fragile. One system is fragile. Diversification is survival. Fifth, think in decades. Not months, not quarters, not trends. Decades. Where will money flow? Where will scarcity increase? Where will leverage concentrate? That is where opportunity lives. Sixth, protect your flexibility. Low fixed costs, low bad debt. High optionality, the ability to move, to adapt, to pivot, to survive shocks. And finally, Stay informed, not addicted to news, not drowned in noise. Informed about systems, incentives, trends, power shifts, because ignorance is expensive. Awareness is compound interest. Here's the truth. The system is not changing. It is accelerating. Automation, AI, globalization, financialization, all increasing. Those who adapt rise. Those who cling to old rules fall behind.